During the break, try to move around a bit. Have a sip of water. When I get tired during the day, I sometimes have a cookie in between. That tends to help. Otherwise, sitting through 2 sessions in a row can be quite tiring. So move around a little. Maybe playfully snatch some snacks from the person next to you. A little mischief like that might perk you up. Otherwise, sometimes when I myself say read for an hour, I get a bit tired. Then I get up, listen to something, have a bite, walk around. And when I sit back down, it feels like a fresh start. It was the same when we were students. A few minutes of moving around during recess and we'd feel refreshed for the next class. So this might be helpful going forward. Now let's move on to the 4th stop. For each leg of the journey there's a schedule at the beginning. I won't read it aloud here, but please take a look yourselves. See what His Holiness did each day. Don't just skip over it. First look at... For example, on July 7th, he arrived at Ati Ling. July 8th was like this, July 9th, July 10th. If you look at the morning and afternoon schedules, wow, His Holiness hardly rested at all each day. It must have been exhausting. This is something we should all keep in mind. If we ever have the opportunity, we shouldn't say, oh, I'm so tired, I need 3 days of rest, or I need 2 days to adjust to the jet lag. That would make things quite difficult. So when it comes to seeking the Dharma, let's not worry about such things. Today's section is arrived in Napa Valley. On the morning of July 7th, we departed from the beautiful Rocky Mountain Dharma Center. We traveled about 3 hours by car and arrived at Stapleton International Airport in Denver. As I mentioned before, Stapleton Airport no longer exists. It's not an airport anymore. After nearly 3 hours of flying, we landed at San Francisco International Airport in California. From the airport, we were transported by car for about 2.5 hours and arrived in the renowned Napa Valley. When you read this, you might think, oh, 3 hours, that's not much. 3 hours driving, 3 hours flying. It doesn't sound bad, but actually it's quite tiring. Think about it. Just the drive alone was 3 hours. Before that, there was all the preparation, deciding where to get off, arriving at the airport 2 or 3 hours early, then handling all the luggage, waiting there for a long time, then 3 hours on the plane. I hope each of you will think about this. 3 hours on a plane is about the same as flying from Chengdu to Shanghai, roughly. Chengdu to Guangzhou is about 2 hours, and to Beijing a little over 2 hours. So after all that time, we then had to get back in a car. After another 2.5 hours, we arrived in the renowned Napa Valley. Napa Valley is one of the earliest wine-producing areas in the United States to be recognized as a world-class wine region. Its scenery is beautiful, and the weather is pleasant. Vineyards stretching along the hills can be seen almost everywhere. While driving, they kept pointing out the sights. There's a vineyard over there, giving us a running commentary all along the way. In the 1980s, as vineyards from Napa Valley became known worldwide, tourism there began to grow rapidly. Since then, Napa Valley has become a popular tourist attraction in California, where visitors can enjoy a variety of wine and gourmet food, as well as many outdoor activities rich in artistic atmosphere. There's singing and dancing, outdoor bands, all sorts of things. The artistic vibe there. It's a city of culture. It's quite an interesting area. In the late afternoon, as the sun was about to set, it hadn't set yet. That's when we arrived at Ati Ling in Napa Valley. Ati Ling left a wonderful impression on me. Sadly, I believe that Dharma Center no longer exists. A few years ago, I had someone go check on it, and it's no longer a Dharma Center. The house where His Holiness stayed has now been sold to a private owner. This Dharma Center was founded by Tromge Jigme Rinpoche. Tromge Jigme Rinpoche, he later came to Laronggar as well. Tromge Rinpoche, his father was Chagdu Tulku Rinpoche. He is Jigme Rinpoche. You'll see him later. In the photos from the zoo visit, one has a white beard. That's his father. Tromge Jigme Rinpoche has a black beard. He is Jigme Rinpoche. I believe he's now in Mexico or somewhere else not around here. He founded it. At the time, it was a wonderful Dharma center. It was situated on a beautiful hillside where the environment was quiet and the landscape pleasant. Tall, lush trees surrounded the center, and the dense foliage almost completely enveloped the building. Beams of sunlight filtered through the gaps in the foliage. Dappled light and shadows played across the ground like a dream. It was like when you visit an old-growth forest, and the sunlight comes down from above, filtering through the canopy. Standing below, you feel as though you're in a dream. At the time, I felt there were these big trees, and among them the Dharma Center seemed to be nestled within the forest. It reminded me of back in the Tibetan areas when I used to herd yaks as a child. We'd often build little huts in the forest. It brought back that feeling. Even though it was quite hot outside, once I walked through the center's gate and entered the trees, I felt considerably cooler right away. It was very hot at the time. I'm not sure if you can tell from the photos. His Holiness stayed here until July 18th. We arrived on July 7th and stayed until July 18th, 11 days in total. Throughout the entire journey, this was the longest duration at any location. We didn't stay 11 days anywhere else. Out of all 10 stops, none matched it. This was where we stayed the longest. Not far from here was the Lincoln Theatre. This was the venue where His Holiness would give teachings in the days to come. It still exists. Someone went to check on it a few years ago. The Lincoln Theatre is still there. If there's an opportunity in the future, San Francisco isn't too far from here, I'd like to go see it. Getting there might be a bit difficult though. Going to Boulder, that would require San Francisco. Many people have been there. Next time I go, I should visit the Lincoln Theatre. His Holiness gave teachings there for quite a long time. This photo, at that time some lamas from Qinghai in the Tibetan areas had come abroad. After His Holiness settled in, they introduced themselves that day saying, "We're from Qinghai. There are some lamas here who have been accompanying us all the way to Canada, helping His Holiness throughout the journey." They had been there for a while. Their English wasn't fluent, but still a bit better than ours. They were lamas from Qinghai. Among them were some tulkus, still active today. Some are now in Taiwan, some are still in America. Last year I had video calls with a few of them. Next is visited San Francisco. On July 8th we took a day tour to famous San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the most recognizable and distinctive cities in the US, as well as being vibrant, artistic and creative. This city is home to Italians, Spanish, Mexicans, Japanese, Chinese and others. People of diverse cultural backgrounds can be found all over the city, making it an accessible, multicultural blend, like a palette in the hands of a painter. Sometimes when we see a place with people from so many different countries, it's quite enviable. You see Italians, Spanish, Mexicans, all kinds of people with all different hairstyles and skin tones. Such variety. When you visit San Francisco in the future, try to spend some time there. It's a very interesting place. As we explored the entire city's attractions, we were amazed by the inclusiveness of the local culture, and we witnessed the versatility of the locals. Thereafter, we paid a visit to the Golden Gate Bridge. Speaking of the Golden Gate Bridge, there was a Lama who had also been at Larangar. He sometimes calls me and says, I live in San Francisco now, above the Golden Gate Bridge. From my window, I can see the Golden Gate Bridge. Wow, the scenery here is beautiful, and the climate is so pleasant. Wow, it's like a pure land, like heaven. I joked with him. If you feel that way, you'll never develop renunciation. There's no hope for your next life. No way you'll be reborn in the pure land. He said, well, here I am, sipping tea, reading Dzogchen texts, singing Dzogchen songs. It's really so comfortable here. And the Golden Gate Bridge is just stunning. It seems like he lives on the hill above the Golden Gate Bridge, in a little hut. He often brags about how wonderful his view of the Golden Gate Bridge is. The Golden Gate Bridge is recognized as one of San Francisco's iconic structures. Its construction was completed in 1937. It is around 2.7 kilometers long, and its towers are 227 meters tall. At the time, it was the longest and tallest bridge in the world. That's what they said back then. I looked it up later, and that's what I found. But I'm not sure if it was, well, when I checked later, it was indeed the tallest and longest bridge at that time. While its excellent design and distinguished color make it one of the most aesthetically pleasing bridges in the world, unfortunately, there is a dark side. Its 75-meter-high deck has also become one of the places with the highest number of suicides in the world. It's like Aokigahara, the suicide forest in Japan. In that forest, every year they find hundreds of bodies. Over 100 are discovered. So here too it has become known as a place for suicide. The suicide rate is very high. In 1937, nearly 3 months after the bridge was completed, a World War I veteran committed suicide by leaping off the bridge. He was the one who started this tragic pattern. Since then, this bridge has gradually become the place with the highest suicide rate on the West Coast. At the time we visited, we were told that nearly 1,000 people had committed suicide from that bridge. That's what people there told us at the time. That should be about right. Looking at relevant records later confirmed it. To this day, many suicides still occur there. Actually, in Tibetan areas, if there are places with high suicide rates, people should hang prayer flags there. Nowadays, even after car accidents on the roadside, they don't allow prayer flags. That's a problem. If you hang prayer flags or carve mani stones, then those spirits, it blocks their dwelling place, so they won't want to stay there anymore. Otherwise, at places with many traffic accidents or forests with high suicide rates, in such places some non-human beings gather in groups and stay there. They somehow influence people passing through to think all sorts of thoughts, or some people are constantly drawn to go there. I've heard that in Japan's suicide forest, many people want to go there to have romantic relationships, and once they're there, without realizing it, both of them end up dead. We softly chanted the Avalokiteshvara mantra for these deceased people. We returned to Ati Ling fairly late that day. Alright, that's all for today. Now let's recite the Vajrakilaya mantra together and then dedicate the merit.
Chupun Solen Droa Droa Shao Bandangara Badma Sodargye Bandangara Badma Sodargye Bandangara Badma Sodargye